What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode review. Today we're going to be going over episode 7 of 7's. And let me say this before we get started, that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's has proved to be a very, very interesting series. I mean, the info that we got in this episode was just crazy, and I can't wait to talk about this and kind of some things that I did notice in this episode that really did intrigue me. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into the review. Overall, this episode, I really did enjoy this episode. This was definitely one of the better episodes for me, in my opinion. This is probably my third favorite episode out of the 7 that we got. This really started getting the progress of the story kind of going a little bit long, and we got to see some interesting stuff with the Top of Hexagon, which is or the 6 executives of Top of Hexagon, which is a group of six characters from Goha that are basically one below the master himself, President Goha. And in this episode, we got to see a little bit of them in action. They were in a meeting. They were kind of discussing how to be able to uninstall Rush Duels, because like they've been going online and basically the YouTube of this, they've been shutting down all the videos and all that kind of stuff, but they were unable to succeed at all because of the elementary school's newspaper. So they were looking around at Mr. Goha doing his ha 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 laugh once again. It was kind of cool, and he does point out they got a copy of the newspaper, and Goha points at the paper to this article where it shows Yugioh with this notebook. Now, you might be thinking what this is all about, but apparently these people are thinking, oh, this might be it. If we get this notebook, we know how to uninstall it. Like, they think this is basically the blueprints on how to basically end Rush Duels and put society back where it is. So they were talking about it, and this one of the characters, we get a close zoom in on it, and she says, I will go and do it. Like, she volunteers to go and retrieve the notebook, and Goha just standing over them. I will say, though, there was some problems that I had with this part, especially since it felt like they just really wasn't moving at all. Like, you couldn't tell who was talking or anything. Literally, they just used still images, I feel like, and I really didn't like that. I liked how Mr. Gohan actually got some, like, even though he just, like, pointed at at least he's not dumb. He's not just standing there just laughing. Like, I was wishing we get some dialogue room, but I don't really have a problem with that. We'll get some dialogue eventually. I don't think he's just going to be there and just laugh the entire time. I really, really doubt it, but I kind of wish there was a little bit more with that scene, but it was nice. But we get introduced to this new character, Mimi, which basically was a new elementary student that comes to the school. She actually gets in contact with you guys, saying how like she loves Rush Duels and all that stuff, and you can tell immediately that something was suspicious. Roman actually know something was suspicious, and the next thing we see, she's literally in the girls' bathroom, and I can't believe I say this. She's in there and she contacts Gohan saying that her infiltration's good and that she can start proceeding with the process. And I will say this happened 3 times in this episode, and I thought it was funny. For some reason, these two girls out of nowhere come in and is like, maybe we should go tell the teacher about this, because she's just announcing her plan out loud. She doesn't give a crap in the world, and they're just like, yeah, maybe we should go tell the teacher. Like, this happened 3 times. One in that bathroom scene, one in this just a random location. I didn't be on the building, and at the final part of the episode after the duel with Mimi and Yuga, which we'll get to in a little bit, because I have some things to talk about with that. And then he's dropped one more time at the end of the episode, so I think that was kind of funny. But she basically she's trying to get into the group and like get in contact with Yuga to try to get into his lab and get to his notebook, to the point to where like even Rook said himself that maybe she's a Goha spy. Like they're so judgmental, and which they're good. They're not dumb kids. Like, you would think, like, because they're 11th graders, they wouldn't really be that smart and they would fall for it easily. No, like, Rook, Gakto, and Roman are really, like, trying to think, like, okay, this person seems really suspicious, and she knows that. Like, she understands that something's going on, which I feel so bad for Yuga. Yuga's just like, oh, come on, you guys are, like, you're way too hard on her, dude. You just need to chill. I will say this, though. and I'll explain this a little bit later too, because this just bothered Yuga. He's supposed to be the smart character, like he builds all these mentions and stuff like that, but he's too kind, he's too nice-hearted, and I don't know how to feel like yeah, Yuma Tsukumo and Yuya Sasaki was nice. I think this dude is nicer than it, and I think that's gonna really make his character interesting. I feel like I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm not gonna be the one to judge that, but there is something between there's something with Yuga I'm not understanding what his mindset is. I guess he just wants to trust everyone. So it goes to the point where she goes off. She literally contacts Goha, and on a she literally sends drones with these presents. She gives Rook some sweets. She gives Gakuto VHS tapes, apparently, so he can watch older duels. I guess he wanted to see some Yamayuki duels, which I think that was kind of cool. But and then she gives Roman this cassette tape, I guess, because she likes music and stuff like that. And then gives Yuga 30,000 yen, I believe it was. Someone could quote me on that. But she basically gave him a lot of money. I don't remember the total. I looked it up earlier, and I forgot to write it down because I actually had to take notes in this episode because I really wanted to explain about this episode at the duel, and I forgot to write that down. But she gives him a crap ton of money, and Yuga's like, I don't want this money at all. And like she was taking it to kind of get into them, and then Yuga decides taking her to her lab. Then Kaizo just flown around, just being Kaizo. They kind of were talking a little bit. She ends up leaving after she gets there because she got a phone call from Goha. She left, and I'm just gonna say this: I have seen a lot of cop shows in my life. Like I've seen a whole bunch of that. This might be the worst outfit you ever wear when you go and rob someone, basically, because 80% of her face is still showing. I think the only thing she covered up was her hair, and she goes in there to try to steal the notebook, but fails because they did a stakeout because they didn't really trust her, and just gives back everything. And they literally give everything back to her. Like they have the tray where everything was at, even though Rook already ate all the food. I'm assuming Gakuto watched all the VHS tapes, and Roman actually watched or like listened to every song in there. And she starts to lie and saying like, I want to learn more about Rush Duels, I want to learn its secrets and all that stuff. And this is where I mean, like, Yuga, what are you doing? Because he offers the notebook to her. Like, he actually goes and hands her the notebook. And I'm thinking, dude, what are you doing? Don't. But this dude is too kind for his own good, because if she wasn't dumb enough and overthought it, she wouldn't have had the notebook and she wouldn't have had to duel him. But she wanted the duel from the notebook. So they ended up rush dueling for it, which makes sense. Like, this is a good stake duel, I feel like. I mean, this could be the end of rush duels, so Yuga has something big on the line, even though he really doesn't think about it that much. So I think that was kind of funny of how that was executed. Which, it was alright, but geez, Mimi isn't really that smart now. Oh, I did forget to talk about Mimi about something. I really am interested in her character. Something we found out in this episode, and it really, really bothered me. She is going to, she's infiltrating the school as this like 12-year-old kid. She's about the same age as them. We find out in this episode that she's 37 years old. No, I do not joke you. She is 37 years old. What? Why is she 37? And this is where the point is like, okay, you kind of feel bad for her because when she goes around the store, everyone treats her like a kid. But and she says that earlier too, that this was God's blessing. I think that's literally what it works is like, this was God's blessing to me. Like, she looks so young for being 37 years old. She even has a son, which I don't know if we'll ever meet the son. I really don't know. For anyone that doesn't know, I am not actually looking at any of the previews or summaries, the cast list and stuff like that, until around episode 10, because I want to start getting back into that in video form. So I'm going to wait until that. I feel like that would be a good place to start after I kind of get back into actually recording videos. So that's basically why. So who knows, maybe in the next episode we'll actually see him, or a couple of episodes from now, who knows. But She's 37 years old, and she is in a scene where she's in the bar, and she literally has to wear a sign on the back saying, "I'm an adult." This makes me feel so bad for this character, because even though she's really blessed with the fact that she can look young and all that kind of stuff, but it also is a curse because of the fact that everyone that treats her like a kid, like she looks like a kid to the point like, where she has to wear a sign saying "I'm an adult," which honestly, I don't know how you believe you would have to do like a license or something like that to show it, but I guess some people do fake ID, so I guess I can see it from that perspective too. So I don't know, but that was really interesting. I did not expect it. I felt like she was gonna be older because I did see that scene before, even though I don't like to watch the previews. I'm trying my best not to watch the previews. But I just remember the bar scene. I was like, oh, she has to be older. Like, they wouldn't let a 12-year-old. I mean, I know they let Yusei in as 5Ds, even though he got milk for some reason. Oh, yeah, because um, Tanner told him to do that. But, like, he was, like, 17, 18 years old, so it looked a little bit more weird. Even though she's 37, like, that's still weird to me, but getting back into the point, let's actually get into the duel. I just wanted to quickly mention that before I forgot. That just was really interesting to me. But let's get into the duel. This duel I really did like. I loved the whole theme of Mimi's deck, which I will be talking about right now, actually. So I actually have my list right here. I'm going to name the 4 monsters that she played. Well, she played 6 in total, but 2 were the same. So I'm going to read off the monsters she played in this. And for people that didn't know this beforehand and you're now realizing this, I'm going to give you guys a chance to think about this. If you need to pause the video for a second and think about why I'm reading this to you. And for people that are just new to sevens and like new to Yu-Gi-Oh, you probably won't know what I'm talking about. But let me read off these names real quick. So the monster she summoned was Haircut Lamoon, Kana the Gagaro Sword Mistress. I'm making sure. Oh, I think it's Gangaro. I think I might have wrote it wrong. Bubbly Elf and her ace monster Dian Kito, the Gold Digging Master. Do you guys have an idea what this is? Now, if I know like a lot of fans might get the Dian Kito, the Gold Digging Meister, because all these cards have in common is that they're tributes to older type cards that we see in the anime from the original Yu-Gi-Oh trilogy, with Haircut Lamoon being a card named Lamoon. Kana the Sword Mistress is the Gargara one. Bubbly Elf is Mystic Elf, which I kind of got that one right away. The only ones I didn't know is the Lamoon and Sword Mistress. I've never seen those cards in my life. And then everyone knows the Enkito, the Cure Master, which was the spell card that basically helped you get 1,000 life points. So it was kind of cool. Like, these are like younger versions of these characters, and her whole like spell and trap card theme is like kind of like, I don't know, like disco theme, like kind of dance theme, like partying. Like, I think this was just a really cool. It's probably one of my favorite decks, not because of the whole like dancing and all that kind of stuff, like the whole theme of it. I just love the fact that and this is, I feel like, what Studio Bridge is doing really good. They are still contributing to the old series to kind of make it fit with the original series. Like, we got to see Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician, and Red Eyes are actually getting printed out, which I think is really cool. Will they be in the anime? I really don't know. But even this is more, it's more special to me because what I like about this is that they're trying to put some story with these cards to these, and then like they probably went their own ways. Like, how I think about this, if you put it in a story perspective, is like these 4 characters basically was friends and they would always party together, and then like when they got older, and I'm assuming like they moved away from each other, they had their own things, with like Diankito the Gold Digging Master becoming Diankito the Cure Master, how Bubbly Elf becomes Mystic Elf, and so on and so forth. So I think there's a really cool story that you can put together with that, and I really do like it. But so in this duel, she summons the 3 monsters other than Diankito. She will summon that in her next turn after Yuga's, but she summons those, places them in defense position after activating a spell card, which I didn't write those down because I couldn't actually find it for some reason. But she plays a card face down and ends her turn. Yuga draws. He does his summon 2 monsters, tribute them to summon 7 Road Magician. I feel like that's just gonna be the running theme of this. Is like he's always gonna just summon Seven Rose Magician right from the very beginning. Which I will I will give some credit though. Like I will point something out for what we know right now. There is no extra deck. Like there is an extra deck like board, like a place where the extra deck would go. So I'm assuming they'll come maybe later. But right now we don't have that. So Yuka summoning his Ace Monster first turn. I feel like I'm gonna like let go just because of the fact that he really doesn't have that much. Well, not until early in his duel, which I can't wait to talk about that. But I don't really mind it as much. I know a lot don't like the fact that he just summons Seven Roads Magician right off the bat. I wish he kind of built up to it more, but I understand why. But either way, he activates his effect, sending the card to a graveyard. He ends up gaining 3,000 attack points. Activates Piercing so he can deal damage in defense mode, and attacks, deals her damage, and then it goes back to her turn. And because she has 2 monsters remaining, she summons her ace, Diankito, the Gold Digging Master, and summons 2 more. I believe she summoned Haircut Lamoon and Kian, the Gorgeous Swords Minister. She basically acted. I think it was an effect that actually destroyed. No, it was a regular attack. I think she was able to gain attack points. I can't remember her effect specifically, but she attacks Seven's Road, destroys her. They go for a direct attack, but Yuga activates a trap, which basically destroys her monsters destroys all of her monsters on the field because he had 4 spellcasters in the graveyard. He could destroy all monsters, and she ends up ending her turn. Yuga draws, and here's where something that I really do like about this episode. We get to see Yuga's new ace monster. I guess you can call it like a secondary ace monster, Brave of Dawn Lyacross, which, if you guys don't know, that was a card that was actually shown in the opening. I think closer to the end of it. We didn't see whoever used it, so I didn't really know who was going to use it. I thought it was just going to be another character, maybe someone from Top of Hexagon. I honestly thought maybe that's where they were going to go with that, but no, this is Yuga's new ace card. He also summons Hydro Magician and Hilt the Noble Arms. This Hilt the Noble Arms really interests me when I first heard that, because there actually is an archetype in the actual card game of the noble called the Noble Arms. They're an archetype of warrior monsters. I'm not going to really talk about them because I don't really know their playstyle. If anyone knows, let me know, because I would like to talk about that. I don't think this has anything to do with them, but I don't know. That's what the Noble Arms kind of remind me of. Actually, I have a trap card of Noble Arms myself, but I don't have it out right now, and I'm not going to bother looking for it. So I think it was like until Noble Arms meet again or something like that. But anyway, he summons these 3 monsters. She does activate a trap to get back Diankito, but it doesn't matter because he activates Bravadon Lycross's effect, which basically helps it gain attack points. He attacks, destroys Diankito, and uses Hydro Magician and Hilt the Noble Arms to finish the duel off and Yuga's win. This is Yuga's, I believe, 5th? No. I'm trying to think. I think this is his 5th one, actually. His 5th win and his first, with 1 loss still being to Rook. So that's where we end off this episode. She, closer to the end, after she wins again the attack, she's like, I see the light. Like, I've never seen the light, like, glow so much. Or I can't remember what the actual saying was now thinking about it. But you see, like, this beaming light coming out with Yuga, Brave, Hydro, and Hilt just standing there. And I think for a little bit she saw, like, she understand, like, maybe Rush Duels isn't that bad, but I think she's still conflicted, because at the end of the episode she still believes, like, okay, Rush Duels are still bad, we still need to eliminate them. So I don't know what that's all about. And oh, there is something for actually 2 things I forgot to mention about this episode. The first thing being is there was a quote from this episode that I really did like, and I guess what made it so funny is because it's kind of true. Roman during the duel, I think it was when Mimi activated a trap card, like the mirror ball trap card. I remember that one. I think she activated that card, and I remember her saying, like, if you normally go out and dance all night, like party all night and stuff like that, your skin is gonna get worse, and like that really caught Mimi off guard, because like she's thinking that her whole appearance was a blessing, like that she was able to look so young and all that. And I think that was just really, really funny to me. And another thing is after the duel, we see this one shot with Yuga, like he was talking about the notebook, like still wanting to give her the notebook even after the duel. And she was about to throw the notebook too. Like, I don't know what her thought process was, but she did give the notebook back, but they were looking through the papers and was like, what is this robot mechanic thing? What is this gonna do? And she was just like, oh, these idiots. Like, they were so focused on that, and like, I think she might know how to do it, but she won't tell, but, or at least maybe, I don't know what that was all about, but who knows? Maybe she knows, or like, she's thinking, oh, this was a bad idea. I think they kind of did fool me or something like that. But talking about that scene, and that was not the thing I talked about, just guess I would mention that since it was there, but it wasn't really that important. We see Yuga there, and the two come, like, Gakuto and Rook come to the side, and then Roman comes in, and she snaps another photo, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Why is she still taking pictures? We know that she's sending them to Roa, assumingly, because we see in the last shot from, I believe, episode 4? Or it was episode 4 or 5, but it was him looking through the pictures that Roman is sending him. Why is she sending these pictures? What is the importance of it? Like, I don't know. And maybe it's irrelevant. I don't know. But I can't wait to see what that's going to be all about. But honestly, I think that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the episode. What was your favorite moment? And what do you guys think of Mimi's character? I'm really interested to see what Mimi's character is going to be. I'm assuming she's going to be important to this because of the fact that she's one of the top Hexagon, like one of the members of Top of Hexagon. So I assume she's going to have some more appearances, maybe in the next couple episodes. We don't know yet, but let's see. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. But that's going to end it off. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, guys, take care and have yourselves a good rest of your day.